Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Street Yarns podcast. It's been a while. We took an unplanned break, but we are back again. And today we'll be joined by my two hosts, Emmanuel Ade and Sazuela. And we're going to be talking about a topic that we feel like is interesting. At the same time, it might also be thought provoking in the sense that we know that it's something that a lot of people have been thinking about and it affects a lot of people too. In our society, sometimes you hope for the best, yeah, but sometimes things don't go the way expected to go. And then there's always a lot of pressure. Whether you're a man or a woman, there's always pressure from family members, your job, your church, different sides. And this pressure sometimes makes people make like hasty decisions, rush into decisions that they regret in future, and so on and so forth. Today, we're looking at um, this recurring issue of single women and the desire to have a family. We know that it's not every single woman that is looking for a husband. Some people don't even care. Some people don't even want to get married. And then you see cases where there are some people who hope they can get married, but they cannot kill themselves. If the husband is not coming, you shall not go and buy a husband. And
They
then
cannot come and die.
there's another
At all, at
category
all.
of people that are looking for husband and they are desperate about it. Like their life, to them, their life cannot move on unless they have a partner or they have a husband or something. But away from all that, we want to look at this idea of a woman starting a family by herself. And even though we know that there's different definitions of family, say you and your family. Sometimes husband and wife can qualify for family even when they don't have children yet. That's a family.
Mhm.
Husband, wife, and children is also family. But then there's this thing that uh, came to our minds that okay, should a young woman who has not been able to find a husband for whatever reason, maybe it's because she has too much akara, or because husband is just not coming, should is it proper for a single woman in that capacity to go and say adopt a child and start our own family and say, okay, you know what? I want to, if I can't find a husband, I can adopt a child and start on my, and have a family on my own. Or in the extreme case, go and get a sperm donor and get pregnant and have a child by herself. Is this something that we can say is morally acceptable or proper and at any level? Bumi, I want to start with you. What do you think?
Mm, I on the issue of whether it is morally acceptable or not, I would not say yes or no because I don't know. I feel we are in a society where there is accomplishment to certain stages in your life. Like as a lady, in a particular time, you are supposed to go to school. In a particular time, and anyway, maybe olden days, not now. You're not supposed to read up until university because you are supposed to marry, and at the end of the day, your role is supposed to end in the kitchen. Then bring it back to now. A lot of I will not say out of desperation, right? I have a friend that at the age of 30, she just sat down and she thought about it. She said she doesn't have anything to say this is my own, and she felt like okay, I need to have a baby of my own. A man is not coming into my life. I have a job. I am financially capable to train a child, and whether it is acceptable or not, they are going to mock me for 9 months. And when the baby comes out, everybody's going to be happy that I have a child, and they are going to
Yeah.
celebrate me like that. And she actually started that, and a child is like I think 2 now, and she's happy. Um, I just think it's just perspective, anyways. What what's good for me might not be good for you. Then when we now talk about societal acceptance to single ladies becoming a mother or not, then that is a different topic entirely on its own. But moral, I feel it's just based on perspective when it comes to morals.
Ade, what do you think?
Hmm. I don't think the reason the whole vibes. This kind of question is one we would look at from aspect of community, religious values, and then family,
I
just
knew it
like
was
you
going
said,
to
also
mention religious values.
family. So naturally, a person is driven by some sort of philosophy. Something drives you. Maybe there's that fear of God. Maybe there's that discipline from family. Maybe there's that ethics from one person you consider uh, somebody you look up to, somebody you just consider a mentor. Or maybe there's that I belong to the streets value,
Mm.
societal value that moves and defines a person. So I think answering this question or looking at it is going to come from the perspective of what is this person looking at. If nowadays though we have what we see as an Christian, someone who feels I'm saved by grace, so I'm justified by grace, no matter what I do. Grace has covered it
Mm.
up. And then that also gives room to types of Christians. But don't let me just make this too complicated than it is. Let's just go to the fact that somebody is moved by value and personality or something to make decisions. So when we are asking if it is moral, it will be coming from the aspect of okay, in a religious background, is it moral? Or in a societal background is immoral on the basis in which I'm coming to justify me coming to have I mean, imagining I'm a female, justifying that I'm a female who wants a baby
Yeah.
because I don't have a family of my own. Time is not on my side, you know. I'm married to my job, and then probably there's a guy who isn't, or there are guys who don't see my value the way I'm expecting them to see it, or probably there's that issues with I'm a feminist. This is how I should be treated.
I had
And
that. I'm happy you mentioned that. Do you think that such a decision can be driven by the fear to even get into marriage because of
sure,
all this talk about
bro.
uh,
I went to
husband, domestic
yes,
violence, things like that?
yes, yes. I saw an interview some time ago, and
In
this babe was
not in
being
all cases
asked,
though.
sure, but in spec of percentage now, spec of percentage,
Mm-hmm.
looking at what's how it comes to some people, boiling down to some people. And the babe was being asked some questions, and she wanted. In that interview, there were different set of girls. Some didn't want a family at all. They don't even want children. Like they just want to live their life whole, and that's all. And we had people who wanted children but didn't want to carry the pregnancy. They wanted people to take up responsibility for them.
Surrogacy or something. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. And then we had the people who were like, it is too much a deal to deal with men nowadays. Like they are not committed. They are too this, they are too that. They don't look up to what they are not being men enough in the house. I don't want
I
this.
agree.
You agree? I will just run basically
In all
with my
cases,
child.
percentage too.
Well done, carry. I'm sorry there. We are with the men that are like, stop it right here. We are still men in this community. We are men in this world.
1% over 99.
Yeah, sorry. But well, men do have
Do
their
you know the
issues though.
funny thing is that yeah, so I kind of understand that perspective when it comes to fear.
Mhm.
Some women are just afraid to. get into
Mm.
marriage with a lot of things that are
But do
going
you
on.
blame them
Um,
though?
yeah,
I think a lot of our decision makings are actually a result of our environment. You know,
and
a
experiences.
a girl, yes, a girl child that grew up in a home where the father is always beating the mom would actually not want a man, or a girl child whose parents actually did not even care for her, and she grew up in a society whereby she feels obligated not to be like her parents, would also not want to have a child. Just end things the way it is. So like this, these are just issues that spring up because of our background. You know.
I know the funny thing is, just like you said about not wanting some things you found in your parents, I realized some people
Hmm.
try so hard, and then in such case,
They end
they
up
end up
becoming
in
their
loss.
parents.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
They end
how
up
about
in loss.
let's look at it from the perspective of the child. For a case where a single man decides to adopt or decides to get a sperm donor or whatever, and she decides to raise the child by herself. Let's look at it from
Hmm.
the perspective of that child. Do you think by doing that, the woman is depriving that child of an essential aspect of child's life? That is having a man in the male figure, having the full
Hmm.
family, like the traditional father, mother, children. Do you think that is depriving the child or any child in that situation of of, of that kind of opportunity to have that full family um, dynamic?
I would
Make I know.
argue that you don't. I don't know if I don't have an experience of being poor. I might not tell you what it means to be poor. So if that child doesn't have an experience of a father, I don't think he or she would probably have like I
Would
don't know.
miss
I don't know
not
how to
having a
say it.
father.
Yeah, would miss because there are plenty of people in the society that are wishing that I don't have a father. And there are people that are wishing that I do have a father. You know, and that's because of the experiences that they've had.
Yeah.
Okay, side journey. Yeah, I was telling
My
somebody that
God.
my father has, like, I can count the number of times my father has ever beaten me twice in his entire life, and it was because I did something wrong, and it was like lesson. And I have somebody that was saying that my father would always use calls to wake my mom up in the morning. That you are lucky. Oh. So so if you actually look at those experiences, you say, oh, okay, father here, father there. So really, okay, what about those men that abandoned the woman in the house? Not because she wanted it, she
Yeah, at
actually
the end of
craved
the day, they
a
have to train
man,
the child by themselves.
you know. So and we are not having. I think there was a research that says that because of the economic situation now, we now have men running away from the home.
Well,
Truly, following your discussion. Now good talk. Now good talk. You try. You try. But I think where the
But
child will actually have major issues is the place of the society. The society kind of brings a factor of you having a father and a mother. You know, if
that
it
stigma
was
of
a society
fatherless
that
child.
allows you exactly, you go to school, they'll say Father's Day, they say Mother's Day, they say your bring your father to Kene
School.
Conde, bring your mother for Kene Conde, bring your this for representation day. Your father should let's see what your father can do something day. What does your mother do something day? So all those stigma that the society has itself inculcated into children will make it even if the child felt 100% care from the mother
From
in
the
the house
mother.
alone or the father in the house alone. The fact that the society has found a way to just chip in that factor that you are missing something in your life
Mm.
will make you think it's right. And Mr. Sukom is what do they call it? The child just be like Sukomi is friend or Sukomi a
Mm.
friend has that simple time where your
Those
friend's
little
father
things.
buys your friend ice cream or buys
Yeah.
him Game Boy and you feel like My father could have done this too.
Yeah. Even if your mother has
Regardless of
bought
the
Okay,
fact
you
that the
let
father
me
PS5,
be
is
the
running
bad
away
cop.
from
feel
the
like
house.
you're
Let me
missing
be the
something.
bad cop. Yeah, let me be the bad cop. Yeah, the rent father. FYI,
They
they are renting fathers.
don't rent father
Okay.
for
They are
life.
they are renting fathers for life. You have your mother will have one uncle. Anyway, in on the clause where the mother is actually responsible, yeah. It's not that you are trying
Mm,
to introduce this man to your child's life. You can look for maybe
mm,
one of your best friends and he's always just
mm,
constantly there. We have
Mm.
examples that I can even mention. I have examples that I can even mention. Not that the mother is single, but as a result of circumstances, she's the only one taking care
mm,
of this child. And
mm.
when it's time for her to, okay, I need somebody to represent this person. There's this constant uncle there that also understand that this is just you're not going to take the place of the father, but at least if they need a man,
To fill
a
the gap
man role
once in
in
a
the
while.
house, yeah, to fill the gap once in a while, he is there.
But okay, talking about
Check for
the
somebody
societal
that is
stigma.
convincing. Yep.
Talking
Sorry.
about that society stigma. Now there's a
Mm-hmm.
difference between a situation where, say, husband died and now the woman
Mm,
Mm,
has to take care of the child by herself, or the husband
mm-hmm.
has run away because of economic problem,
I
like you
mean,
said. For in that kind of situation, the unique thing about it is that a father exists. The
mm,
child has a
somewhere.
father's name,
yeah.
and in some cases, the mother can still point to the family of the father. Okay,
Yeah.
that's your father's, your quote unquote useless father's family. Oh, that's your late father's
Exactly.
family. But in the
Exactly.
case of getting
Exactly.
sperm donor, especially if it is anonymous donor, how
Mm,
do you help that child
And it's
avoid the
always another.
stigma of being called a fatherless child? Like, oh, because it is not, we're not saying it is right to call that child that name, but we know the society we live in. They will one day to come up and say, who is your father? And then how would the child answer? That is the perspective I want us to look at it. Does it put that child in a tight corner in that kind of situation?
mm, mm. It does.
Exactly.
It does. It really does. It really does. But again, let me be the bad cop again. As the single mother, where they think, say, I want to do this thing. I think the number one key thing is, are you financially capable to actually live this life? If you are financially capable to live the life, just switch location, relocate to another place where they say they don't know you. Start your life afresh. And you know that this topic is just relative to African setting. We are looking, we are checking outside Nigeria. This really doesn't matter. This actually doesn't matter because really I can actually fabricate a story and I'll tell you that this is where your father is. The thing is just that it's just distant, you cannot see him. I can, for instance,
But how long
leave
will you keep
leave your
telling that child that story?
no. I would
Now
later
one day go
tell
boss.
tell no. I would actually tell the child when he or she is actually old enough the truth. But you know that a child of 5, 6, 7 would not know when he's actually saying, and children can be, just talkative, just to, I also have something to say. Just say your father is somewhere, then you have somebody calling that child to tell you, hey, baby, how are you, and everything. But really,
You-
up until, okay, maybe 10, 11, when you know the kind of mentality that your child have, then you just tell the child the truth.
when the
Okay, this
child
is
is
what
able to
happened. This is
handle the
what
truth.
happened. Yes, when the child is able to handle the truth, and just move on with it.
And if you, let's say for instance, you meet a lady and she's a wonderful lady by every other standard that you look out for, but she now tells you that, okay, oh, for some reason, at a point in my life where I felt like I was not going to meet anyone, I decided to go and get a sperm donor and have a child. Can that be like a deal breaker for you?
Mm. Let me put
Man
on
of
my
God.
thinking cap.
Man of God, say the truth.
You say one of God. Okay. Well, okay. So she's perfect, or should I say next to perfect? And
Yeah,
then
like
it happens
all
that
boxes
she
checked.
made a decision in the past. Exactly.
Mm.
So she made a decision in the past. And wait, okay, this is now a question that I'm going to ask. Is this a personal question to me or a question open?
Okay, let's take it as a personal question to you. Say you as a person, your based on your values.
Okay. So no be say she did. You know, as a guy, I will not lie to you. No matter how good you are, if you have been sleeping around before, it's a 1 plus 1 something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's a
because
one plus one
then you
something.
have to be sure if it is okay. Did you get sperm donor or
I'm
did you
telling you,
just get
bro.
pregnant for your ex-boyfriend?
It's
I
exactly.
think
Is it
I
that
think the
brother
answer is just
Muri
simple.
meets Muri by brother Bisola place, and then we started having body count of like 2 million. Let's be sure. Let's be guided. What are we facing?
So
So
let's say it
Man
is
of God,
genuine.
story is
She
not
gives you all
entering
the
your matter.
evidence, and yeah, she gives you in she shows you paperwork that okay, oh, it was an intentional decision at a point in her life. Is that a deal
okay,
breaker for you?
no, really,
The
it
question,
isn't.
uh,
Funny
the
enough,
question
it
now,
isn't.
see, the question is,
It's not.
an average Nigerian guy would not wait to ask you why do you have a child. As soon as they hear or they
I already
see
know go ask.
that you have a
What's
child,
communication
they
for?
don't ask question. They don't ask question. They just ask you, is that child your own? If you say yes, they don't even ask you what happened. They just vanish. An average Nigerian.
Ah,
It takes
those
grace. It
ones,
takes
those
grace.
ones are bad,
Except
though.
if
They are bad,
except
though.
if um except if the guy had like a special color, God told me that you are my own. Those kind of things. Okay, then you will now wait to ask questions,
I'm
whether I
you
want
are
a
my own
baby
way.
or
I
not.
don't hear. They don't toss me the woman. They don't toss me the lady. You are my own. You are my own. They are on their fault. You are my own now.
It was not
But
clear
really,
because
it's actually
that's
it's
not my
actually
own.
They were
hard.
talking.
Lady standing beside her. I can't imagine how many ladies that are falling victim of you are my own. God said you are my
Ah,
own.
um, how many people God go judge? They plenty. I'm sure she
So,
go start the judgment.
but I think if you also think about it, one of the things that will probably make because, like we said, one part is the effect on the child. The other part is
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, and that's why I posed that question to you, Adi. We have to look at it from the perspective of does it limit permanently the opportunity for that lady to be able to even find the husband eventually? Because
no,
obviously,
actually,
Okay.
no, actually. The funny thing is, nowadays, the society, even when it comes down to an African setting, the society has begun to open ground to single mothers, open ground to how will I put it? Let's just use single mothers for now because the other one is quite big. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
yeah, single mothers kind of covers everything.
yes, yes. Because another thing is the divorce rate. So that's another one that people are now trying to fight. So now, single mothers, let's come down. Let's just say, as long as they still just have like one, they still fit one reason now. If they enter two, three, now another question, waiting they occur. But when it's one and it's on this concept of, well, all right, you were the one who just decided time is going, and then
Mm-hmm.
let's give time. I mean, let's give space to this and stuff. It's a different case. I know of men who are open to the concept, so they don't have issues with it. As a matter of fact, I remember there was someone who said, "Ah, this lady has even helped me to reduce the amount of children I need to have." That was it. That was his own opinion. Like, she has helped me out already. So what is there to fight against? So let's just have one more child and we are good to go. So they were, you know, it's becoming open now. Not that much open among, should I call it Nigerian men or the cultural men? But people of this
Mm-hmm.
new generation and that are open to opinions and travelings and the Western life, they are accepting a lot of things. And the Western world is actually opening a lot of things to we realized that before now, people were not really communicating. What they were just doing is we are taking a stand. This is my choice,
Mm.
this is your choice. So now
Yeah.
that there's this bridge
You're
and then there's
asking more
openness
questions.
of communication. Exactly. So there's now a balance of understanding, like, oh, okay, so this is what you actually meant. Oh, okay, this is where I'm coming from also. Okay, let's actually meet in the middle. So it's helping out a lot. It's helping out a lot. Still, with this, we have a lot of people too that are still like, you work
No.
around 1 year, all those kind of things.
Okay, Bubi, let me ask you, what age do you think is okay for a woman to make the decision of, say, at this point, doesn't look like anything is coming forth. Let me go and get sperm donor or something.
Hmm. I really don't know. I cannot say because, like I said, I have someone that thought about having a child at the age of 30, and she did it. I think at the end of the day, it just boiled down to a lady's mentality, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you are single, whether you are married, whether whether you are a single mother, right? It is the way you carry yourself that people carries you, and it is the kind of mentality that you have at for the about some things in your life that really matters. You know, we still know of okay. Recently, I think last year, I actually joined a group here in the city that I live, and it's just they call it single ladies praying single ladies group. And when I got there, I looked at myself and I said, "You're still a baby," oh," because I saw
Where is that the
single.
caliber of people?
This is not for
I
me,
saw I
man.
saw I saw I saw single ladies of 55 that are
What
still
is
open to get 55 that are still that they're open to get married, and they are still playing, and they're telling you that no sex till marriage, and your guy will come, any guy. And there are times where they will say some stories, and I'm like, you have gone through this, and you're still expecting a man to ask you out. You're still expecting to marry, and and they're still hopeful. And we still have like 30 something, 20 something that are saying that no, I am done. Like I have had this guy has broken my heart, this guy has broken my heart, and at the end of the day, I just feel like I'm not doing.
It's
I'm
like
not
when
going
you
to
see a
be
girl
an
in secondary school
independent
saying, "I'll
woman.
not date again. My boyfriend broke up."
You
Just-
know, I have the university level lady that I was saying I'm still going to wait for that man. And I think among this group, I think two of them got married last year, 50 and 45. And we still have somebody that is like 55 that she's still hopeful, you know, and she's still there.
But wait,
And she's still
when you see people like that, does that make you more
mm,
worried or more at ease as a single person?
okay. My kind of mentality has always been to marriage doesn't define who I am. A child doesn't define who I am. Then again, let it not get into my head that I need to be too independent. You know, when the right man comes, the right man comes. Oh, a guy walked up to me and they asked me out, and few weeks later, the guy proposed to me and said, "Let's get married." And in my head, it was doing red flag. I like was doing red flag because I felt like it was pushing things too much, and I told him,
Mm.
let's wait. And at the end of the day, I think it was close. No, yeah, I was in Lagos for your wedding, and the guy called me and said, "Babe, I'm sorry, you're not ready. I found someone." Do you know what I told the guy? When you pick a Ashwebi, send it to me, I will buy. And the guy was shocked. See, at the end of the day, they know they can't late come out for this thing. You understand? If you're actually too desperate, that is when you now catch bad things. Just let me be spiritual. Just put God first and let God lead your way. And at the end of the day, they say don't let me use Yoruba. The last to eat doesn't mean that you're going to eat the spoiled. You're
Mm.
still going to eat the best of the best in it. So that's
Yeah,
my
that's.
say.
I
Àpẹ
feel
àpò
like at
tàbí
the end
ètò
of
èdè
the
Yorùbá.
day,
Àpẹ kó tó jẹun kò
apákan tó
ní
jẹun
bàjẹ́.
níjẹ́ ìbàjẹ́.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and they said the patient don't is the fattest good.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Àwọn
maybe
Gen Z
the
ti kéde ẹ̀ sí
maybe
o, a ti ní pé present
maybe
jog
the impatient
kẹ̀kẹ́ rí
dog
fóònù
has
kankan tí
eaten
ẹ
all
mọ́.
the meat. Maybe the impatient dog has eaten all the meat. That's why the patient dog has to eat bone.
But you know that, that a conception is actually wrong because when you feel like I have to be sharp, I need to eat this thing fast. You actually make a lot of mistakes because you are
Because
trying
you're
to
rushing.
rush ahead.
Mm.
My pace is different from your pace. Your pace is different from another person's pace. And at the end of the day, the end of it is, did you live a fulfilled life? If you're supposed to live a fulfilled life as a single person, you would definitely live it. You're supposed to live a fulfilled life as a single mother, you would live it. So and gone are those days where I don't know that peace I have. One of those days where you would tell me, somebody called me. Okay, I was talking about a friend, and I said, this person is married, or this person is married, and the person said, you're always talking about your friends that are married. You too go and marry. And I just told the person, sir, single life is sweet too. I'm still enjoying it. When I am done, I would marry. And a woman now came to me and said, sorry, the man did not mean it. I looked at her. I did not pick offense. So I'm happy the way I am. So nobody can pressure me to say, okay, let me go
To
back there
rush
to go
into
and start
something.
crying about something.
100.
No, you
Especially since
cannot.
Ade is not ready now.
And I just proposed. I proposed, and he wanted to kneel down. Who should kneel down, me or you? Ade, please.
uh,
Má bínú, I will stand straight next time.
Okay.
I think at this point we should round up on the topic because I know that if we decide to go deeper into it, there are a lot of angles that we would want to look at because it's like we already pointed out the child's perspective, the possibility of getting another spouse in future or husband. There are even cases where you see a single father and a single mother come together and say, okay, we already have, we are
Let's.
both, yeah, let's just take care of these children together. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it comes down to, but I think the most important thing is not doing it for the wrong reasons, not
Yeah,
doing it because maybe you have just given up on life and you think, because at the end of the day, you must be sure you have enough love to give to the child you are bringing
yeah.
into the world to,
Hmm.
and
When
the
you say
responsibility of
when you
taking.
say love, that's another topic on its own because single life and motherhood is a different topic
Totally
entirely.
different.
So I feel that if anybody wants to make decision to be a single parent, you should have think about it, check all the side effects, merit, demerit, and resolve in your heart if you are ready to be. I
So
think
that
that
you
is
don't
my
end
own.
up putting a frustration on the child that asks to be born.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you for your time, Ade and Bumi. I think a lot of people listen to the topic that we talked about today because I'm sure there's probably somebody somewhere right now thinking about it, and maybe there's a chance that the man they are supposed to marry is around the corner. And in some cases, the reality of this world is if you check population distribution, male and female, there are more females than male. So it probably means that not everybody will marry. So
7 women.
yeah.
Se-
So
7
at the end
women.
of the day, it might just be that um, that man is not coming. And it might just be that maybe a
Mm.
little more patience and the man would come. So, but for whatever decision we make, it's important to make it for the right reasons so that you don't end up regretting the decision later and then put the frustration on the people that still has to be born, children particularly. So, we've come to the end of this episode. Our listeners, thank you for joining us. We hope you like uh, videos, subscribe, and share to other people too. You might just know somebody who needs to hear what we talked about today, and it would add value to them. So until next time, I remain your boy, the boy. Um, Me and Emmanuel too are signing out. So till next time.
Bye.